This is the story of a theft that kept the world's top investigation agency on edge for 6 years. Not just a small theft, but one worth $3.5 billion. How did a simple phone call lead to such a massive heist? How did the thief hide the money in a small container of Cheetos? On September 13, 2019, a man named Jimmy Jung made an emergency call to 911.
Clark County 911. What is your name, sir?
It's Jimmy Zhong, Z-H-O-N-G.
Jimmy Jung lived in a small town called Athens in the U.S. state of Georgia. He reported a theft at his home, claiming that $400,000 had been stolen.
I'm having a panic attack.
Okay. Do you need an ambulance?
Zong sounds distressed, and a lot of money is missing.
If you had an approximate amount to say the total value was of the money?
Probably close to $400,000.
Hearing such a large amount, the police officer was quite shocked. Jimmy had a top-notch security system at his home, and he even had CCTV footage of the thief entering his house, who had covered his face. Jimmy Jung was a Georgia University graduate and was known among his friends as a party boy. He would often spend up to $500,000 at a single party. He would buy free drinks for everyone present and even once chartered a private jet to Los Angeles for a football match with his friends. The point is that Jimmy had so much money at a young age that he could barely handle it himself. When the police failed to solve the case, Jimmy hired a private detective named Martinelli. Given Jimmy's lifestyle and circle of friends, Martinelli suspected that the thief might be one of Jimmy's close friends. Hence, he decided to thoroughly investigate Jimmy's private life, including his social media accounts and bank transactions. The private detective was puzzled by Jimmy's extravagant spending at such a young age. Jimmy claimed to be a Bitcoin trader and crypto investor. With the rising Bitcoin prices over the years, everyone believed him. Martinelli noted that the footage of the thief entering Jimmy's house showed he was aware that Jimmy was not home and knew the exact time to strike, indicating that the thief was likely a close friend of Jimmy's. This wasn't the first time Athens police had dealt with Jimmy. A few years earlier, he had been caught with cocaine and had maintained a good relationship with the police since. The Athens police often used his CCTV cameras for other investigations. However, due to the 911 call, Jimmy was now under intense scrutiny. The regional cybercrime unit also learned about the $400,000 theft and that Jimmy claimed to be a Bitcoin trader. They were skeptical about where such a large amount of money came from. This unit had been investigating the Silk Road crypto heist for 7 years without any leads. Silk Road was an online exchange where illegal transactions like drugs and weapons were traded using Bitcoin. In 2012, this exchange was hacked, and someone stole a total of 51,680 Bitcoins. Because it was an illegal dark website, the theft wasn't reported. The following year, Silk Road's owner was arrested, and the FBI seized the site and its Bitcoins. They recovered 170,000 Bitcoins, but 51,680 Bitcoins remained missing, stolen by the original hacker. The FBI thought that the Silk Road owner might have transferred these Bitcoins to another account and was lying. Bitcoin transactions are transparent, but the account owner's identity isn't. The regional cybercrime unit suspected that Jimmy Jung might be connected to the stolen Bitcoins from Silk Road. They needed to find out Jimmy's Bitcoin address. The Athens police and the regional cybercrime unit planned a meeting with Jimmy, which seemed normal to him since it was about the $400,000 theft. During the meeting, 3 plainclothes officers equipped with body cams entered Jimmy's house. They assured him that they were there to investigate the $400,000 theft. In conversation, they tried to learn about Jimmy's source of income. Jimmy showed them his room where he had 2 Bitcoin miners. A blockchain expert on the team quickly realized that 2 or 4 Bitcoin mining machines couldn't generate the wealth Jimmy was spending. Meanwhile, one officer accessed Jimmy's laptop and copied his Bitcoin address. This address was one of many Bitcoin addresses Jimmy had, but it was enough to connect to the Silk Road crypto heist. The regional cybercrime unit's hunch was correct. Although the address didn't have a large amount of Bitcoin, its transaction history matched Silk Road's account from years ago. It was clear that Jimmy was connected to the Silk Road heist. The officers sought out the 51,680 Bitcoins they believed Jimmy had. They contacted him again, this time with a search warrant. When Jimmy learned about this, he was visibly distressed. The officers began a thorough search of his house, checking every tile for hidden storage. Finally, they found a container of Cheetos with a small towel inside. Underneath the towel was a small computer chip, a hard wallet for Bitcoin containing 51,000 Bitcoins, worth $3.5 billion. Jimmy Jung was now in deep trouble. While he was caught up in the investigation of his $400,000 theft, he ended up losing 51,000 Bitcoins. Jimmy explained to the officers that he used to buy drugs from the Silk Road Exchange and had found a loophole in the website in 2012. Using his knowledge of blockchain, he began withdrawing Bitcoins from other users. When he had stolen 51,680 Bitcoins, the Silk Road owner noticed and privately messaged Jimmy, asking about the loophole. Jimmy revealed it and, in exchange, was forgiven for the stolen Bitcoins. This case is considered the largest Bitcoin heist in U.S. history. If Jimmy hadn't made that 911 call, he might have been free with his Bitcoins. But that call brought him from the sky down to earth.